All right, this is going to be a long nostrini, utilizing all parts of the personality and the persona that is, was, and will be Nostrovini. First off, justice and madness. The murderer, the rapist, killer who killed a young woman is going to jail for life. But he's being uh, sympathized with by the press, which is known by lot Marxist. The Marxist press, the people's press, believes that this evil man who raped and murdered a child should be exonerated, I imagine. We're seen as a victim of society. This is madness. Madness, I tell you. But the madness of the left goes on and on. It has no bounds. Thank God that the Lord has delivered us from Donald Trump. Trump. Ha ha! Tried to sabotage my voice. Do you? The devil does. That's just bananas. Yes. The Biden administration, the banana republic of Bolshevism, has managed to make this into a banana republic by the persecution of a good, honest real estate man in Donald Trump. Well, the turn of the tables is upon us, and soon Chuck Schumer will feel the wrath of the Trump, as well as Nancy Pelosi. The last gift. Biden is trying to get us into deep waters as much as he can. He's let the horde of rapists and murderers come across our borders. Ah, yes, an invasion of an army, but soon they'll be deported. Oh, it'll be rough, my friend. Ugly. They'll hide behind children, but first we get the rapists, the murderers, and the sociopaths, and the mentally ill. We get rid of them, and then we'll think about the migrants. Migrants. Illegals! Unions unite. The unions are united against Biden, actually. He's working against the working man. No, 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 no. This is true. True as true can be. The unions are no represented by the forces of the Democratic Party as they have put their power behind the freaks. Danish man's face was slapped. Not slashed. What am I saying? Am I so fatigued by this weekend that I don't know what I'm saying anymore? The horse's face was slashed. There's a war against tourists. There's a war against the Danish even. Harmless people. What madman, and he is a madman, would just randomly slash a man in the face with a knife, discarding any concept of civilization? The man violently mentally ill, the criminal mentally ill, who is as far as different than the normal crazy person, the wackadoo, I like to call them and me. No, this must stop. Biological bathrooms, brother, or going to bat. There is an invasion of cross-dressers who wish to be women, going to the bathrooms with the full monty of the male equipment and exposing themselves to the fair sex. Now, let me tell you something. There is only two genders, men and women. That's it. The rest is a delusion. This is the word of God. This is the word of nature. This is the word of society. The transgender movement is spitting in the face of God, spitting in the face of nature. It's an artificial movement made by madmen and mad women, and nothing in between. This must stop in the name of Lord, the God of heaven. Biological birth rapes with a smile. Yeah, the man raped a woman with a smile from Venezuela. Yes, many of these criminals are from other lands. We've been invaded. How noble the man was when he came down the escalator. He knew what was coming upon us. He is a prophet. Donald Trump is a prophet as much as Moses was. Ah, the head of the Justice Department was going to be a firebrand, but he was done in, of course, because of trumped up charges that he was with an underage woman and trafficked in females. No, he just didn't look at the um ID of the woman, and she was a woman, 17 and a half. Let us not split hairs like the liberals would have us. No, no. See these eyes, see the serious eyes of the gotcha. Well, so I do have you. No juice, Jesse for justice. This is that black man who claimed that he was being assaulted by white Trumpers in the middle of winter in Chicago. And while in actually it was two Nigerian actors that he hired and had them even a false accusation of a hate crime that galvanized the nation and split it apart into two parties. One who did obviously realize it was a baloney for baloney story. Attacks on racial motivated attacks on blacks by whites are rare. Once in a blue moon. This is true. A myth has been gotten, like unarmed black men are shot constantly by the police. Myth, myth, a lie, the big lie. It's done by a Marxist media and activists who want to open wounds that should have been closed long ago. Ah, it's not World War III yet. No thanks to the Biden administration. True, Russia was wrong in invading Ukraine. True, Russia wanted to uh, gain control of the Ukraine. The fact was, the Russians have the power, the manpower, the will, and the armaments to take over, and they are coordinating with North Korea and other nations. Quite honestly, I feel brokenhearted about the Ukrainians. They're brave people, but they're outnumbered and outgunned, and that won't change. They can only try to have a deal in which Ukraine can survive as an independent country. They'll lose land and they'll lose economic strength. They've already lost quite a many men. There's only 37 million Ukrainians, and there are 100 million to 200 million Russians. You do the math, the sad, tragic math. Ah, the International Tribunal Court has, I can't believe it, Baba, one of the great leaders, the leader of the Jewish state, has simply fought and destroyed Hamas to a large extent. And he has bombed the bases of Hezbollah. Now he's being accused of a war crime because he's using the same methods that the United States and the Allies used in the destruction of Nazi Germany during Imperial Japan during World War II. True, the Palestinians or Hamas hide behind men, women, and children, and the elderly, and the civilians. But that is not, the Israelis are trying their best. But of course, there will and shall be collateral damage between the Palestinians. Just a simple fact of military reality. The Israelis should begin commendations from the United Nations of their great behavior during this bloody and tragic war. Drugs not abandoned. A brave man, a Marine, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Marine, saved a trainload of people from Michael Jackson, raised from the dead Well, he's not exactly. A crazed, drug-addled maniac came upon a train and threatened women and children, and he had a history of assaulting women and children. But that brave woman got him in a chokehold and helped by a black man and a Hispanic man, showing that it wasn't a racial attack. And now the Marxist DA, hired by Zoris, or whatever the hell his name is, the Marxist, the communist, the corporate communist who tries to destroy America, he brought up charges while letting the rest of the city be lawless. He brought up charges against this brave man, this hero, who should have gotten a medal for his actions. Boy. Oh. In the meantime, a maniac who assaulted many people, stabbed 3 people to death, and was then put back in the shelter and had a criminal history. Not only was he a schizophrenic, a paranoid schizophrenic, I wouldn't even say paranoid. He was just attacking the weak, the honest, the decent people, randomly when he had the opportunity. A man like that deserves an immediate death. It's like a wild, rabid dog. It has to be put down. This is the word of God, I'm telling you. Capture. Cry to shut. A shelter that is a hornet's nest of the criminal, the insane, and the Marxists. They are being asked to shut down this shelter, this blight upon the land, and being denied it. Why? Because right now we're in transition. The glorious Trump administration is coming to our rescue, and the Biden Bolsheviks, the corporate communists, are trying to do as much damage to this nation as they can while they still have time. But their time is up. An Israeli mob, an anti-Israeli mob, surrounded a community center made by Jews to protect Jews for congregation. These madmen, and I say they're mad because their logic doesn't make sense. Some of them are queers for Hamas or Palestine, even though they would be murdered by those said Hamas people. And yet they wear the headdress of the Islam. Allah does not approve of your proclivities. And these are strict adherents to Allah. Know this. Your alliance, the gay mafia's alliance with Hamas and terrorism will be the undoing of the gay movement that should be for the individual gay people to live a life. Of course, it has metamorphosized into a menace to heterosexual society, to God, to the country, to the children. Let's see. They're denying the advent of flying saucers, saying it was a spot in the helicopter's reflection of the thing. You all know the aliens are upon us. We can only hope Miss Green is right, and the Israelis who control the missiles and the laser beams on Mars will shoot down these missile-clearing aliens. Well, maybe they're interstellar, interdimensional visitors from the past, the present, or the future. The prosecutor who wishes to prosecute Netanyahu, Yahoo for Yahoo, is actually a pervert who molested his staff. Now, I'm no big fan of sexual harassment cases or claims. The interaction between men and women, the dance can be confusing. We should all give each other a benefit of the doubt and don't make bogus inclinations of proclamations of rape. You know how you are, Win. One moment you want to do the hoopy loop, and the next moment you don't want to do the hoopy loop. That's why God is a bachelor. Look, signals. He just goes up to his cloud. You don't want a frustrated bachelor on your hands, do you, ladies? Step out it! Be decent. Listen to the legend. Ah, the man who's about to be in charge of the border and picking up an ice to pick up these meandering criminals wants us to listen to the women who were raped and murdered by migrants. Migrants of menace, I call them. Even as we speak, a caravan of roughnecks and surrounded by a layer of women and children. But yet, though those women and children are there for show, they have been rented out to the cartels. They hide behind them as much as Hamas hides behind their civilians to do no good whatsoever. Judge Jedford, a judge, has let out a killer, a man who had a big criminal record of killing people. He shot a cop and got shot himself. Let's say this, if you do violent criminality, you should be thrown into a tar pit. That's one thing I don't agree with the Constitution. Yes, cruel and unusual punishment. My friend, let us have cruel and unusual punishment. A man who murders somebody should be drowned in a vat of mayonnaise. Yes, I say that. Especially if it's a hate crime against white people. Yes, it would be perfect if a man who was not the same race or the color was thrown into a vat of mayonnaise. The white man's favorite food, at least mine. Wait, wait. What is this? Drugs, not the drug addict, crazy person was addled on drugs as well as his schizophrenia. Schizzy. I think a man who takes drugs and then assaults other men should be shot dead at the moment. For the sake of society. For the sake of the Lord. Ah, a smirking Venezuelan smirked as he was enrolled in the police after assaulting a woman. Let him, the smile on his face, be wiped out by the hard blow of a prison guard. A rogue prison guard. They go all rogue against this man. Roundup of masses of rapists. 1/3 of all criminals coming into this nation are from another land. Who are buying here, outpacing our own situation, our own criminals, because of their ruthlessness, because they're heavily armed, because ours has grown fat and lazy, our criminals. Criminals of the world, criminals of the United States. Let's have a criminal Super Bowl. I say reinstate the Roman Colosseum and have them fight among themselves for our entertainment. So saith the Atsanokupai. To shelters for malignant big ones. They are a cancer upon this nation and this city. They should put them, all the criminals, all those in shelters, who are criminals and who are from other lands, and to the Aleutian Islands. Let them shelter there with no heat. Our own gulag! We could learn lessons from the Russians on how to treat the unruly. Only our unruly won't be innocent people. They'll be guilty. They'll be Marxists. Atheists. Steps all the way. Bit by bit. Mr. President, President, glorious President Donald Trump will to take apart the horrors of the Biden administration. Shut the gates. A good man was shot down before he even had the chance to become the Attorney General. But that will not happen to Hagsworth, the military Marine, or was it an army man, or special forces. Many medals he has. Many tattoos that people mistake for signs of white supremacy. Actually, they're medieval concepts that were for the warrior class of the Christendom. Thank God this Christian will soon be on its way to help our many veterans to gut the endless waste of the military and make it strong, to get rid of the gay mafia that is taking over much of our military. Now, I have no qualms about gay people. My relatives are gay, many. No. But those who try to cripple children and castrate them, they have wrath. The God of wrath is upon us all. He has bad eyesight and he'll kill everybody in his way in order to get at these cretins. What is this? Censor in chief. Biden tried to censor every truth which they labeled as misinformation. Biden wouldn't know the truth that it hit him in his old senile ass. Infidelity obviously is legal now. Cheating on your wife or cheating on a husband has gotten the good housekeeping of approval. Why? Because they have forgotten God's law, the Lord's law. But soon they will be reminded that there is a God, and he will brook no rebellion. The mass killing of children and mutilation of children will stop, or this planet will be turned into a burning ember. Of course. Chuck Suma, Suma, that you want to take our courts and turn them into commie courts. It's not going to work. Mr. Schumer, you can do what you will, but you will not change our glorious system. It was designed just to thwart radicals like yourself, who speak in a nasal voice of comfort and comforting, but are in fact Marxists. Oh, slutty gangster was shot. It used to be it was the Bonanno crime family. No, now they're the slutty gangsters. What? Does that mean men and women within this organized crime organization do the hoopy doop constantly with each other, with whoever they can do the hoopy doop with? You have made my brow disturbed. Mace on protections. Mace is being attacked by the gay mafia, truly threatened. There's nothing more vicious than a tranny who's been crossed. But that born-again woman is no slouch. Soon we'll have a commando unit to take the laser beams off Mars, and we'll use those people. Oh, his pocket penny. They haven't had him go up to defend himself. I guess the video of him defending himself against the police without the Miranda Act will be enough. If Mr. Perry is convicted of a crime, but then New York City will go down the same road as Detroit. And we'll deserve it collectively, but not individually. I would hate to live in a world where these madmen, well, I do live in the world of Biden, but soon things will change. Oh, you're honest. Oh, I think I've done it all. went unknown. There once was a city named Frisco that was like a Frisco, a beautiful city with a lot of homosexuals, but they made a choice to go all left and woke, and now they choke on their own blood. What a leftist joke! Oh, I left my heart in a corrupt San Francisco, that by any work of art and God will fall into the sea. No, San Francisco's been turned into a butt, a cancerous butt. God doesn't like this. He'll send a plague of locusts there. I tell you, many more things. Remember, it's just hang with a handsome doe. A handsome doe, my wife sigh. But oh, I think I do know. And I did it my way. Bye bye, everyone. Time to leave. Time to go. Bah, ba 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 boo, yeah.